Hello Ready Steady Free-Fromers, and welcome to another beautiful day in the land of free-from cooking. Today we are going to make a paleo date caramel slice. This is from the Merrymaker sisters. If you've not heard of them, they do some lush paleo recipes, and a lot of them are adaptable for SCD if you're on the SCD, and they are just really good and often very indulgent. So today we're making that paleo date caramel slice. For me, it tastes like flapjack. It's the closest thing I've found to flapjack since I've gone grain-free. So we're going to throw all the ingredients together and hopefully have a lush snack at the end of it. Now I have the oven preheated at 350. And we're going to pop everything in the food processor with the metal blade. So we're going for, we're going to throw all of the ingredients in together, apart from the walnuts. I'm going to put them in later. I'll explain why in a minute. So the first thing we're going to do then is 2 cups of either almond meal or ground almonds. You probably could use almond flour in this, but you want a bit more of a texture to it, preferably. Okay, so there we have 2 cups. I'm using ground almonds because I'm in the UK and that's what's easily accessible for me. The next thing we've got is 1 cup of chopped dates. Now my dates aren't chopped, so I'm just going to put them in, and that's why I'm not going to do the walnuts, because this is going to take extra blending because the dates aren't chopped, because I'm too lazy to chop them. So there we have it, that's the dates. Pop those in. So we've got 1 cup of chopped walnuts, but I'm not putting them in just yet. I'm going to wait until this is broken down quite a bit. So I think I'm going to pop this in now and just break down those dates. So you can see in there that the dates are all chopped up, and they're probably quite a bit finer than I would have been chopping them. So the small pieces, big pieces, and that's absolutely fine. So that's the dates chopped. That saved me some time. Now we're going to put in some ghee. Now you can use coconut oil if you don't want to use ghee. That's absolutely fine. And we're going for, it says 125 grams, so let's see how much that is. So 125 grams translates to half a cup. So we're going to melt that. That's melted, so let's put that in there. Then we want half a cup of honey. Now the recipe actually states coconut sugar, but we're not using coconut sugar, we're using honey. Half a cup of honey. Now obviously the dates do provide a certain amount of sweetness, so if you want to do less honey you can do. Now at this point I am going to pop in the walnuts. Now usually I'll use a mix of walnuts and pecans, or just pecans, because I really love pecans, but I haven't got any today. So the recipe says walnuts, so we're going to use walnuts. And I'm going to combine this now because the last ingredient to go in is an egg, and I don't want the egg going in at the same time as the quite hot ghee, because I don't want scrambled eggs in this slice. So I've literally just combined that. You can see it's not fully combined. I've just got it to mix in the ghee to bring the temperature down. So we've got 1 preferably large egg, but if it's just regular then that's fine. So we'll put that in and then blitz it again. There we go, so it's all mixed in, and you can see it's looks like very thick porridge, and you can see there's lots of lumps in there. That's the walnuts, and you do want some texture to this, but again it's personal preference. If you wanted the texture much finer, you could blend it for longer. That's absolutely fine. Now there's no raising agent in this, so that's why it's quite dense and a bit more like flapjack. We're going to pop it onto the tray. So there it is on the tray. I'm just going to spread it all out. Now what you can do if you want to is put some raisins in this, or sultanas, or dried fruit if you wanted to do that. It'd be more of like a fruit and nut slice then. I often put sultanas in it, or raisins, but today I'm making it more towards the recipe that it is. Now there is something that I do, that I always do, because I find it enhances the flavour a lot. So we're going to sprinkle cinnamon on the top and then pop some whole nuts on the top as well. So I'm literally just sprinkling. You don't have to do this. The recipe doesn't say to do this, but it's something that I tested out the first time I made it. And it's really, really nice. But you know I'm a big cinnamon fan anyway. So there we go, that's the cinnamon on. Now this is kind of nice decoratively. I normally do this with pecans, and it also helps for portion sizing as well. So I'll put them on around about the size that I want to cut them. And these do freeze great. So of course you can pop them in the freezer once you've chopped them up to stop you eating them if you have little self-discipline with food like me. And again, you don't have to do this. Now the other half, I'm actually going to put sultanas on it. Just press them in a little bit. There we go. So we're going to pop them in the oven now, and we're going to cook them for 25 minutes. So here we are back. It's just over 20 minutes. I was starting to get a bit of a strong smell from the oven. I thought I'll just check it, and it was about 22 minutes. So and it's quite brown, and the sultanas didn't quite push them in far enough, so they look like coffee beans on the top. So hopefully they'll still taste okay, and if not, I'll just pick them off and learn a lesson. So let's have a look. Here we have it then. This is the date caramel slice. You can see the little sultanas. They look more like raisins now, and they were all blown up like little balloons, but they've gone down a bit. And you can see that the walnuts are looking really good. So let's slice it up. Now you can see it's raised a little bit, but not a lot. Let's take a piece out. So you can see it's just nicely cooked underneath there. It's a nice texture to touch, so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And it's quite firm to hold. It's still warm. So we're going to do the cheeky taste test. You know, I think it's the sweetness that reminds me of flapjack, because you've got the sweetness of the dates and the sweetness of the honey, and then it's obviously very nutty. And it's chewy as well. Oh, it's good. And the nut's kind of crispy, and even when you freeze it and you bite into it, I eat it straight from the freezer, and when you bite into it, the nut's crispy then. Okay. So, it's kind of, oh, it's gooey. It sticks to your mouth. I think because it's warm, it's even more gooey. So let's just have a quick check of the sultanas and see if this is how not to do the sultanas. So I'm just gonna pick one off the top. Looks a bit black. Yeah, no. I'm going to pick those sultanas off. Do not sprinkle sultanas on the top. It doesn't work. Mix them in with it and they'll be fine. So, learn from my mistakes. If you make this, make it better than I did. But I hope you enjoy it and experiment with your nuts and flavours and your dried fruit in there. Just eat a bit of the slice just to get rid of that burnt sultana taste. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, suggest what you would like to be made here on Ready Steady Freeform. Very happy to try and bake or cook something that you would like me to cook and make it freeform. So, see you next time in the kitchen.